Imagine trying to govern a newly liberated nation of thousands without a single court, council, or local magistrate. That was the massive scale of the Israelite encampment in the wilderness, and it created a structural nightmare, an entire population pressing toward one central point to resolve every dispute. According to the book of Exodus, that single point was Moses. From morning until evening, he sat completely alone on the judgment seat, listening to and attempting to resolve every individual case the people brought to him. It takes an outside observer to spot the cracks in a system this strained. Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, arrives at the camp, watches this grueling daily routine, and immediately identifies that this centralized method of governing is completely unsustainable. Moses defends his bottleneck. He explains that the people need to inquire of God, and he believes he has to personally act as the bridge to teach them divine statutes and laws. To him, the intense micromanagement feels like a religious obligation. Jethro offers a blunt assessment. The thing that thou doest is not good. He warns Moses that the burden is simply too heavy. By trying to handle every minor conflict alone, Moses will surely wear himself away, and he will exhaust the people who are forced to stand around all day waiting for their turn. A leader might have boundless energy and the best intentions, but centralizing all authority without a mechanism for distributing the workload ensures that both the leadership and the community eventually collapse under the weight of the effort. Jethro's first directive is an intervention. He tells Moses to step away from mediating the endless stream of daily minor disputes and instead assume a macro-level strategic role. The first new executive responsibility is representation. Moses is to act as a high-level intermediary, or be to Godward, bringing the collective causes and major concerns of the entire people to God, rather than litigating neighborly squabbles. The second responsibility shifts the focus from reactive judging to proactive education. Moses needs to teach the people the overarching laws and ordinances, instructing them on the specific way they must walk and the work they must do. To build a system that lasts, a leader has to stop playing the sole operator who solves every localized problem. They must step back and become the architect who defines the overarching rules of the system. You can't delegate authority without standards. Jethro outlines strict character criteria for a new network of decentralized judges. Moses must select capable men who fear God, value truth, and actively hate covetousness. This diagram illustrates the top tier of the governance structure Jethro proposed. Moses sits at the single apex node, delegating broad authority downward to a new layer of senior magistrates, the rulers of thousands. The population is then subdivided into smaller, more localized jurisdictions. The rulers of thousands oversee a much wider tier of local leaders, the rulers of hundreds. The division of labor continues downward. These hundreds are split into community blocks managed by the rulers of 50s. Finally, we reach the most localized ground-level foundation of the system. Every small cluster of families falls under the direct jurisdiction of the rulers of tens. This appellate system relies on a strict operational workflow. These lower judges act autonomously, resolving all routine, small matters exactly where they occur, at their respective levels in the community. The system operates on an escalation protocol. Only the great matters, the highly complex or unprecedented legal cases, bypass the lower tiers and travel all the way up to Moses at the top. Introducing a tiered hierarchy effectively filters out administrative noise. It guarantees that the highest level of leadership expends its limited energy solely on the most critical anomalies. Moses listens to his father-in-law. He accepts the council immediately, choosing able men from all over Israel and installing them into the exact structural roles Jethro designed. The society transforms from a frantic bottleneck into a functional, decentralized network. The crushing burden of leadership is finally shared across a structured community of officials. This grants Moses immediate relief. He is free to judge only the hard causes, trusting the newly built infrastructure to handle the countless everyday disputes. Jethro's system fulfills its first promise, personal endurance. Because the weight is distributed, Moses is physically and mentally able to survive the massive demands of his position. The secondary result is just as vital for the nation. The text notes that the people are finally able to go to their place in peace. They are no longer trapped in a camp from morning to evening, waiting for a single man to hear their case. Structural delegation achieves two practical outcomes. It allows the leader to survive the demands of the job, and it ensures the community receives justice without delay.